Want to cross over to Kisumu. Willis, the Word Master, is already waiting to take us through the highly acclaimed Mind Your Language. Willis, good evening. Salamu Zahewa, as we've just had. Hope you're well. What words do you have for us today?
Jesse, I have so many words that is in our collections of the week, but I just want to be sure whether we are having a word on the street first or not, because I know it's a bad day with a lot to be done, and that scare, though we've been reminded that we should not panic much. But let me find out first from Nairobi if you have clips from the streets. Well, I have to say sorry to our viewers because some small technical hitch, in fact, cannot allow us to have a word on the street. But as usual, remember, we have to do it the way that you are just going to love it. Now, we have to start with our first word in the list of collections. And this first word, in fact, it's a disease in which too many white blood cells are produced, causing serious weakness or death. Now, this word, don't say leukemia, leukemia. No, you say leukemia, leukemia. The right way to pronounce this word is leukemia. Now, we go now to our next word, and when I talk about this next word, you know, this week there is a lot of talk on the deadly virus that has caused fear, panic, and even deaths in the world. Now, this virus, you say coronavirus. You simply say coronavirus. Don't, come up with other pronunciations. And maybe for those who want the other alternative or the alternative name, you say COVID-19. Simply COVID-19, and you also say coronavirus. Now, after that one, we go to our next word, which also goes with the current issue at hand, or the issue currently at hand. And this is where we have a word that many people are struggling to pronounce correctly, but as I always say, nobody is perfect. Some of these words, remember, we are non-native speakers of English, so some of the words can be very tricky to anybody. Even in England, you may find sometimes people, not everybody can pronounce this word accurately when I'm talking about RP, that is received pronunciation. Now, this word, you say quarantine. Quarantine, that is to be confined in a place for some period of time so that you don't pass a contagious disease to other people or other animals. And remember, you also say self-quarantine. Quarantine. We have quarantine, and all that. Please, you can avoid that. Just say quarantine when you're talking about the verb and also when it functions as a noun. Now, our next word, because of the coronavirus, you find so many activities being pushed forward, or the earlier schedule is being avoided, or the schedules in plural are being avoided. Now, when we come to this word, don't say postpone. That T is silent. You say postpone, not postpone. Postpone. So the T is silent. So you can get it right, especially if you're in any career of serious communication. Then we have some people talking about one patient being taken from one hospital to another. Please, we have the word refer, to refer a patient. But now when we have this one, don't say referral or referral. Don't say referral or referral or refer. You say referral, referral. Don't say referral, don't say referral. Referral, a referral facility or a referral hospital. Now, that one is that way. Then we come to this chemical element. This chemical element, or if you like, the silver gray metal, you say aluminium, aluminium. So the right way to pronounce this word is aluminium. Then our next word is a bit tricky. Common, but tricky. Can you try it wherever you are? Our dear viewers, can you try to pronounce this word wherever you are? Well, I want you to understand that this word has three, and I repeat, three acceptable, or if you like, alternative pronunciations. You can say fungi, fungi. You can also say fungi, fungi. And you can also use a third pronunciation, which is fungi. Fungi, it's not very common locally, but it's acceptable under RP, that is received pronunciation, and its approximations. So those pronunciations are all acceptable. And remember, this is the plural of fungus. Plural of fungus, you say fungi, fungi, or fungi. Then we go to a word when we talk about a country or a state, and that state is free to govern itself. You say sovereign, sovereign state, a sovereign state, or if you like, sovereign. What you should avoid is saying sovereign. Sovereign, no. You say sovereign or sovereign state. Now, our next and the final word in our collections of the week is this one. Common, but sometimes tricky to people because it also has alternative pronunciations. In fact, this one has two. And I'm talking about a place where you can buy and eat a meal. You say restaurant, restaurant, and you can also say restaurant, restaurant. So the two pronunciations are acceptable as alternatives. Now, what we should avoid is saying restaurant or restaurant. Restaurant, no. Restaurant or restaurant. Now, that one takes it that way. We go now to feedback. And we have James Medu of Nakuru. You say lingerie or lingerie. What you avoid is lingerie. Your second word is lieutenant. Lieutenant. Don't say lieutenant. Lieutenant. Then your last word is colonel. Colonel. Don't say colonel. Now, Catherine Nanjala of Bungoma, you say symptoms, symptoms, and you also say adhere. Then you have your word preventive from the word or the verb prevent. Simply preventive. You know the problem with English and also what we may call target languages. Sometimes when we speak a language that we have acquired under SLA, that is second language acquisition, sometimes we tend to be too stylish or, we want to sound unique when we pronounce certain words. When you become too stylish with the pronunciation, it may spoil it altogether. So you better get the sounds right. So prevent, preventive. Symptoms. Don't say symptoms. It may sound unique, but that would be inaccurate. Symptoms. And then adhere. To adhere to rules or guidelines, don't say are there or are there. Those ones are not acceptable. Simply adhere. To adhere. Shadi Haoya, a Kenyan in the UK. Thank you for loving Mind Your Language, Friday Briefing, and KTN TV for that matter. Shadi Haoya, in the UK, you say rest, R-E-S-T, simply rest. And your second word, W, R-E-S-T, that W is silent. You also pronounce it as rest. So the two words are homophones. Different spellings and meanings, same pronunciation. But your last word, you say situation. Situation, that T takes the sound ch. Situation. Don't say situation. Situation, no. Situation. Zach Dimba of Kiambu and Tony Obange of Nakuru, you say glycerin or glycerine. Glycerin or glycerine. And you say riparian. Riparian. Not riparian, not riparian. It begins with the sounding ri. Riparian. Barak Nyaberi of Keroka, you say aerate or aerate. Aerate. Don't say aerate. Aerate. No. Aerate. Aerate or aerate. Now your second word is savor. S-A-V-O-U-R. You say savor. Then lastly, you say versatile. Versatile. Rhoda Chepkwony of Kericho, you say tenya. Tenya. Don't say tenua, tenya. Then the plural of wolf is wolves, wolves. Don't say wolves. Wolves, no. Wolves. And lastly, you say zealous. Don't say zealous. We have the word zeal, but this adjective you say zealous. Then we have Linus Omari. Linus Omari of Nakuru. You say the Czech Republic. Czech. That is a tricky word, that country in Europe. The Czech Republic. Ako Benson of Mombasa Kisimani. You say poor or poor. P-O-O-R. You pronounce it as poor, but you can also say poor. Then your second word, you say scrap metal, or to scrap something. S-C-R-A-P, scrap. Don't say scrap. Scrap metal, no, it's scrap. Now we have Livingston Balongo of Kisumu City. You say requiem. Your second word is tomb. A tomb, not a tomb. And you also say womb, not womb. Then the last word is simple, brother. You say was. Now, Edith Shamola of Nairobi, you say regurgitate, regurgitate. Your second word is quagmire or quagmire. Then the final one is paraphernalia. You say paraphernalia. Andrew Chemolo, H-A-T, hat, hat with the low front sound a, hat, the short one. Then H-E-A-R-T as well as H-A-R-T have the long, low front sound a, hat, hat. But now, H-U-T, H-U-T, Andrew Chemolo, you say hot, hot. It's now the mid-central sound, hot, hot. Then the long one is H-U-R-T, hot, hot. I hope you've got it right. Now, Paul Isatu of Marsabit and Lady Linda of Voi, your first word, and I think this is for Paul Isatu, you say worry. Don't say worry. To worry, no. You say to worry. W-O-R-R-Y. Worry. Then you say worth. Worth. W-O-R-T-H. Now, we have Phoebe Oyo of Oyugis or Kisumu, Kimutai Arap Biama, and Paul Mwaura Kamau. Oh, keep it up. Just keep it up, because always for you. KTN TV, every Friday night, you have to get the good pronunciations. And if you love good English, you can be a good communicator. And also good Kiswahili, good mother tongue or first language. Every language is important when it comes to communication. Otherwise, we go now straight to the first word, which is the surprise word for tonight. During this time of coronavirus, we are told that people say congestion. Congestion is not good. No, please don't say that. You say congestion, congestion. Just like digestion, ingestion, and suggestion. So, gestion is the sound to use, not, don't say congestion. I've said, you say congestion. That is our surprise word for tonight. When we talk about jobs, that is the upper word, you say career, career, the career. But when we have the second one, which is from the verb carry, you say carrier. That one has that primary stress, so that stress is right at the onset, at the beginning of that word, if you like, on the first syllable. Carrier, that is for the lower word, from the verb carry. But when we are talking about jobs, you say career. You'll realize that that rear has the stress. That is the second syllable, rear, career. But this one, carrier. Please, you better distinguish the difference, because if you are in a career of serious communication, you'll realize that sometimes when you mispronounce a word, it may create some, vague delivery of intended messages. Now, we come to the much asked about words. Now, these ones are a bit tricky. You say dreamt, dreamt. Remember, the alternative is dreamed, dreamed. Dreamt, but you say dreamed. Don't say dreamt. Dreamt, no. Dreamt. You can also see the transcription. That is the phonetic transcription that I've given you there. The second one, you say lent, from the verb lean, lent. But you remember you can say leaned, leaned. That is an alternative of this one. Finally, you also say leapt, leapt. But remember, the alternative is leaped when you have ed, ed, leaped, ed, leaned. ED, dreamed. But when you have T, you say dreamt, lent, and leapt. Getting it right so that you communicate. Finally, you only get it on KTN, and that is where we demystify. We make them simple. That is the phonetic, or if you like, the sound symbols. And I've been talking about the weak sound, that is the weak symbol, or that is the symbol for the weak vowel sounds. I hope you get it right now. The symbol, or the phonetic symbol, for the weak vowel sounds. But we had reached where we have to know that also the sound E can be weak, just like in feminine. You can see where I have underlined feminine. So that femi, that me, you'll realize that sound is weak. It's an E, but it's weak. So when you check a good dictionary for the pronunciation guides, you'll realize that the symbol is this one. Then we have military, military. So that li has the weak sound E. And finally, positive. That Z has the weak sound E, which in a good dictionary you'll find it represented by this phonetic or this sound symbol. And E upside down, for those who are conversant with phonetics, we call it assure, assure. Now, that does it, but remember, sometimes people ask me, as we enjoy on KTN every Friday night like this, and you say we interact throughout the week on Twitter. So I want you to get it right, because this Twitter handle has been a problem to many people. So this is the way it is. I am Willis, but you have with ICE at Willis Ochieng 1. But please, always keep it KTN if you want to enjoy more. Otherwise, it's that time that I have to take you back to Nairobi to the hot and tough duo of Friday Briefing. That is Ashley Mazuri and Jesse Rogers. Back to you. Remember, I'm Willis Ochieng.